Hi everybody, we're in chapter 2. We just saw that Samuel was born, the promise was given and granted to Hannah, and she now offers a thanksgiving prayer. The whole chapter is divided in two parts. The first part would be the prayer, and afterwards the story about Eli. What can you tell us about the thanksgiving prayer?
The thanksgiving prayer is said here at Shiloh, and Hannah begins by highlighting the idea that God can reverse a person's situation at his will. 3 important verses from the song are as follows. Verse 1, my heart rejoices in God, my horn is raised up by God, my mouth is wide over my enemies because I am grateful for your deliverance. First, Hannah thanks God for delivering her. Then, Hannah speaks about how God reverses people's situations. Verse 7, God kills, God brings alive, God makes people poor, God makes people rich. God reverses people's situations as Hannah found in her own personal experience. And then we move to verse 10. Here in verse 10, for the first time, Hannah mentions the idea of kingship, an important topic throughout the book of Samuel, and one which Samuel introduces to the Israelites. God brings up the horn of his king, Hannah says, and it is Samuel who introduces the Israelites to the idea of kingship later on in this book.
So she moves prophetically here and she speaks about the Mashiach, the anointed one, the king. But before we can get to that, we need to see how this is transferred from Eli, who was a priest, now to a king, and Samuel plays a tremendous role in this.
Yes, let's look up on top and see the scenery where the sons of Eli fail in their role as priests. Here you see in front of you a platform at the northern side of Tel Shiloh. It's a flat platform, and people have hypothesized that here the tabernacle stood. We can imagine Eli here at the entrance to the tabernacle. He's described as sitting at the entrance to the tabernacle in chapter 1 and in chapter 4. And his sons here are serving, apparently as priests, but in practice as robbers. Israelites come here to the tabernacle, they bring offerings, and Eli's sons grab and steal from the Israelites as they're bringing their offerings, rapaciously taking from the Israelites food before the Israelites have a chance to eat. This experience of bringing an offering to the tabernacle is very interesting. People would bring offerings, sacrifice them here in the tabernacle, and the rule about sacrificing the tabernacle was that a sacrifice could then be eaten by its owners. If it's a peace offering, could be eaten by its owners as long as they could see the tabernacle. It's a very interesting, perhaps correct, perhaps incorrect, but very interesting phenomenon that we find in the hills around this area. Look here for a moment at the hills around us. Very interesting phenomenon that on these hills we find large quantities of broken pottery from the Iron Age. And some have suggested, and it's an interesting story, correct or otherwise, that the reason we find so much broken pottery is that Israelites came from the tabernacle with their peace offerings. They would eat their peace offerings as long as they could see the tabernacle, and once they left the area where they could see the tabernacle, the peace offerings could no longer be eaten, the vessels became impure, and they smashed the vessels here on the hilltops. It's an interesting story which expresses the connection of Israelites to the tabernacle and shows the idea of people coming to the tabernacle to bring their peace offerings, hoping to share the peace offerings with the altar, to share the peace offerings with the priest, and how the sons of Eli, Hophni and Pinchas, betrayed that trust and stole from the Israelites. For that they are punished in subsequent chapters.